So I saw this video NerdSync uploaded a while ago titled "Where Was Sabretooth During Logan?", where they go into this whole theory about where Victor Creed was during the events of Logan. Basically, their whole theory is that he died before the events of X2 take place. It's a neat theory and all, but the thing is, they got a lot of stuff wrong in that video as far as the canon goes. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to call them out or be mean or anything like that, but come on. Their theories linked together by stuff like non-canon comic sources, coincidental visual appearances, etc. And to me at least, it's not the best explanation of what happened to Sabretooth in the movies. So before I get into my theory on what happened to Victor, let me just get a little bit into why I don't agree with the theory they presented. See, their whole theory revolves around events that happened in the X2 Wolverine prequel comic. In that comic, Sabretooth and Wolverine are captured and are being taken to Alkali Lake for experimentation by William Stryker. Sabretooth managed to toss Logan out of the plane they were in order to save his life, but winds up at Stryker's base himself. Stryker is later told that Victor's body is rejecting the adamantium they're trying to fuse his bones with, and Stryker orders his men to shoot Sabretooth with adamantium bullets, with the implication that he dies before X2 even starts. And that's all fine and dandy. I mean, we didn't see him past this point in the timeline outside of a video game appearance, so on the surface it definitely seems possible that this could have happened, except there's just a couple of things wrong with this. For one thing, the tie-in comics are absolutely 110% not canon to the X-Men cinematic universe. How do we know this? Well, the big clue comes from the soldiers sent in by Stryker to kidnap Wolverine and Sabretooth. See, they aren't just any old strike force. They're specifically Hydra soldiers. Yes, Hydra, as in the same guys Captain America punched in the face in World War II. Oh, you didn't know Hydra was in the X-Men movie universe? Well, they aren't. See, Fox doesn't actually own the rights to use Hydra or the related characters. That's why those soldiers working with Stryker during the events of X2 can't be Hydra goons. In fact, that's why the writers for Deadpool had to be a little bit sneaky when it came to including an appearance from Deadpool's friend in the comics, Bob, also known as Bob, agent of Hydra, or simply just Hydra Bob.
Bob?
Wait?
Oh my god, I haven't seen you since
Jacksonville.
TGI Fridays.
In an interview with Cinema Blend, they were quoted as stating, "That's why he's just called Bob. The hardcore fans will go, 'Oh my god, is that Hydra Bob?' But the lawyers at Marvel won't go, 'Wait, that's Hydra Bob. They don't have the rights to it.' We did take some liberties. Fox has a list of characters that they own and that we can use, and Simon Kinberg, who is a producer on the project, is the keeper of the X universe. So he was a great source for us in knowing what we can use, how it's going to play into the larger story, and overall arcing stories of the X universe. So between Simon and Legal, they kind of guided us to what we can and can't do or have access to, and then it was up to us to see how we were going to use those characters creatively, once we knew we really did have the rights. That having been said, there was that one time Madame Hydra showed up in 2013's The Wolverine, under her other name Viper, but I'm pretty sure Fox was able to get away with it because the character was completely different than her comic book counterpart, plus she was a Wolverine villain for a while, so maybe she's in that same legal gray area as Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. And on top of that, the comic explanation conflicts with what we're told in the X2 novelization, where it's mentioned early on that Sabretooth is actually alive, and that a manhunt had been launched in order to bring him in, but with no success. Now, it's not like the novelization is completely canon either, but the point I'm trying to make is that Fox couldn't even keep their own notes straight on whether or not Sabretooth was alive or dead, so why are the comics presented as the ultimate source of truth here? Either way, it doesn't really matter since neither of these are canon, so we can't actually use them as evidence as to where Sabretooth was in Logan. We can, however, explain away Victor's absence with just two movies, 2014's Days of Future Past and 2000's X-Men. Think about it. All these characters we've been watching for 17 years now are still human beings. Sure, some of them are blue, one guy can shoot optic blasts out of his eyes, and a couple of them can read your mind, but they need certain things to survive, like food, water, and air. Remember when Wolverine was incapacitated by Magneto in Days of Future Past and he was sent flying into the water? You could clearly see him choking as soon as he started sinking. He's dying from lack of air. He's suffocating. And this is actually one of the few ways you could truly kill somebody with a healing factor. So long as you can keep the water in their lungs, they'll stay dead forever. I mean, what's a healing factor going to do in that case? Is it going to heal some air into them? And since Wolverine and Sabretooth are related, and we saw Wolverine nearly drown, it's safe to say the same thing could happen to Sabretooth if he were to get stuck underwater. And wouldn't you know it, we saw him get blasted by Cyclops into a boat just outside Liberty Island. I think it's a pretty safe bet that after landing through a boat that hard, he would probably smash right through it and get stuck underwater. So there you go, that's my theory. Sabretooth got stuck underwater and drowned, never to be seen again. And I know some of you are going to be like, but wait, X-Men happened in the original timeline. Logan happens in the new timeline. You even pointed it out in your 2 X-Men timeline videos. And that's true, I did. By the way, you should check those out when you get the chance. The links are going to be on screen and in the description. But if you'll remember, there's a couple lines in Logan that make it sound like parts of the OG timeline still happened in this new revised timeline.
I'm waiting for you at the Statue of Liberty.
Statue of Liberty was a long time ago, Charles, a long time.
When I found you, you were pursuing a career as a cage fighter.
So if nothing else, Wolverine's cage fighter history still happened, and the battle between the X-Men and Magneto's Brotherhood still happened, meaning Sabretooth still probably landed in a boat and probably still got stuck underwater. But that having been said, there's also another possibility. You see, Scott Frank, one of the guys who helped write Logan, revealed in an interview with Cinema Blend that there was a moment when we were thinking about, as I recall, Jim had an idea when they were on the run and they had to go to the gambling town. There may have been at that point they were going to see Sabretooth for help. He was going to be there for help. Now that you mention it, I wouldn't swear to it, but we thought that would have been an interesting thing to do. And then for whatever reason, we didn't do it. So let's flip things for a second. It's possible that Sabretooth survived the fall into that boat and wandered off on his own, eventually regained his humanity, looking more like he did in X-Men Origins, and just eventually got old and died. I mean, he was a little older than Logan was. He would have gotten old and sick just like his brother did, and we don't know what kind of lifestyle he was leading in this new timeline, so it's entirely possible he died just before Logan and company showed up. Either way, whether it was at Liberty Island or in this gambling town, I'd bet that Victor Creed is definitely 110% dead. Anyway guys, that's my take on where Sabretooth was during the events of Logan. If you have any questions about my theory, or maybe you have your own theory you want to throw out there, then don't forget to let me know in the comments below. And with that, I will see you guys next time. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to click that like button, maybe leave me a comment while you're at it, and go ahead and click that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to check out any of my social media pages. I've got a Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram. All those links are going to be in the description below. And I've also got my last video right there in the middle of your screen. So if you want to check that out, go ahead and click it, check it out. Alright, and I will see you all next time.